this is Grian and welcome to another video. Today we are reading chapter 20 of Hermitcraft Mayhem. This is a Minecraft-inspired fanfiction based in, well, where I put Minecraft YouTubers into a Minecraft universe and Minecraft world and see what happens. Kinda like D&D, but yeah. It's my own way to have a little fun, work on my storytelling and whatnot, but I just have fun doing it, so that's fine. And hopefully you guys enjoy watching it. But yeah, there are captions available if you are interested in following along with the chapter. I haven't done it for like the intro and the outro or any other funny bits that I do in between, but mostly for the chapter because it's just easier. But you can, well, hopefully you enjoy the episode. Grian placed a stack of plates he'd been holding into the cauldron, looking over his shoulder to see Scar and Caleb cleaning plates and putting them away in the cupboards. Grian spotted Liam by the window, casually keeping a lookout. That was a fun party, Scar said happily, handing a clean plate to Caleb. Yeah, Grian agreed. The cake was good. Why, thank you, Scar beamed. Grian smiled before faded. At least we didn't get ambushed again like last time. They're probably too busy elsewhere, ruining someone else's day. Caleb shrugged. Grian sighed. We really need to find a way to stop them from doing that. We can't help everybody, no matter how much we want to, Liam admitted solemnly. He straightened, pushing away from the wall. Do you need anything else, Caleb? I don't know. We may need to restock the pantry, Caleb replied. All the food must have put a dent on our resources. I can check, Grian offered, heading to the pantry door. I'm coming with you, Liam reminded him. Grian sighed. There is no way someone would dare make you move when everyone is so close. I've heard of pretty wild stunts. Have you? Scar asked curiously. You can go first if you want, Grian offered, opening the pantry door. The shelves inside were mostly bare and empty. Baskets of bread and wheat hung from chains above. At the far wall was a ladder that went down to an underground farm. Liam peeked into the room before walking inside. The torches gave the room a warm yellow glow. Grian couldn't see anything out of the ordinary. He stepped into the room, letting the door close behind him. Everything looks clear. I'll check the farm. Okay, Grian said quietly, opening a cupboard. It was basically empty, with a few scraps of items littering the bottom. How had they managed to empty everything out so quickly? To be fair, there were a lot more people living here now. A lot of mouths to feed. Grian sighed, closing the cupboard. They were going to need a bigger farm at this rate. Grian turned as Liam came back up the ladder, pulling out a shulker box before dumping its contents into an empty basket. That everything? Grian asked. Liam sighed. Most of the crops were too young to harvest. How? We've been here for hours. Someone might have come here recently. Liam frowned. Who? Liam shook his head. I don't know. Do you think the spies snuck in and took some? Maybe, Liam shrugged. But they aren't here now. So we're safe? Grian swallowed. Looks like it. Liam smiled weakly, just as a muffled shout came from the kitchen, followed by an explosion. What was that? Grian squeaked. Liam ran to the door just as a familiar scream filled the air. Horror gripped Grian tight. Scar! Stay back. I don't want you to get hurt, Liam insisted, before opening the door and charging out. Don't even think about it, Rob. Grian stood frozen, stiff as a statue as he saw Rob coming from the hallway, crossing the room toward a limp figure pinned to a wheelchair. Liam charged at Rob, coming to the hermit's defense. Not again, please no. Grian hated how his body trembled, hearing Rob's voice echoing in his mind. How Rob would go after Scar if Gerald asked him to. How he would finish what the men started. Grian took a step back, feeling the floorboards groan underneath him. He looked down at his feet, just as something snapped, and the entire floor fell away. Grian yelped as he plummeted into the darkness below, trying to grab for something to break his fall. There was nothing as the light from the room above faded. No, this can't be happening. Suddenly, Grian landed hard, groaning as he felt something cold underneath him. Metal. He looked out. He was sitting in a minecart, on a track, with very few lights, down a tunnel. He tried to adjust his position, wincing as pain shot through his body. Hello? Is anyone there? Grian asked, jumping as something came down with a jolt from the ceiling. It was some sort of metallic arm, holding something that thin and flat. Grian gulped, trying to scramble out of the minecart as a metallic clank filled his ears. The minecart he was now in looked almost like a metal box, jabbing his legs inside. What in the world? Grian yelped again as his metal hand lunged forward, slapping the metal band onto his forehead. The force clicking had been in place. It began to hum as panic started to pour through him like a river bursting through a dam. Impulse! Jem! Somebody! Help! Grian tried to push his thoughts toward his friends, but each time it reverberated back to him like they were hitting a wall. That's when the minecart started moving down the track. Grian squirmed, trying to pull himself out of the minecart, but the metal sheet that encased his legs held a vice grip around his waist, biting into him like he tried to twist and turn. He couldn't get out. Why couldn't he get out? What sort of redstone wizardry was this? Help! Somebody help! Grian cried, turning to see the empty tunnel behind him. There had only been one minecart down here. How had someone set up this trap without anyone noticing? Wasn't there a camera in the pantry too? Tears burned in Grian's eyes as he resisted the pain, resisted the fear that threatened to take hold. There had to be a way to get out of this. He didn't want to know what was at the end of the track. Was someone waiting for him? Why? Grian continued to struggle against the minecart, trying to pry the metal sheet that pinched against his stomach. There was no use. He was stuck and far away from anyone who could help him. Had Liam realized what happened? How long would it take before someone realized that something was wrong? Would it be too late? Please, if anyone can hear me, help. Grian wrapped his arms around himself. There had to be something he could do. Without a way to reach his friends. Felt like the tunnel went on forever before he finally saw the other end of the tunnel. It was a small room with a cactus at the end of the track. That would break the minecart and free him from this prison. Hope died instantly as he saw a figure standing beside the track. A tall, lanky figure watched him approach. Stormy gray eyes locked on him. That's what Gerald's meant. Panic soared through his heart, like an arrow hitting the target. A wave of dizzying fear crashing into him. It wasn't just one of Gerald's men. It was Kyle! No, Grian gulped as the man smiled at him. The man didn't wear a mask now, clearly letting the hermit see his face. Grian tried to scramble away from him as the minecart hit the cactus, breaking instantly. He didn't go far before Kyle grabbed him. Did you miss me? Kyle whispered coldly in his ear. Grian tensed, feeling the man tighten his grip as he yanked him backward. Why are you here? Grian asked, hating how small his voice sounded. How small he felt. Was the man going to kill him? Would he taking him to see Conifer? You'll see soon enough. Kyle grunted, pulling Grian upward. Grian's heel bumped against something hard. A step. Kyle was taking him up the set of stairs, backwards. Grian squirmed against Rob's firm grasp on him, trying to escape as Kyle dragged him up one stone step, then another. Careful, Kyle chuckled, as if he found amusement in Grian's struggle. You wouldn't want to lose your balance and fall, would you? You won't get away with this, Grian insisted, ignoring Kyle's warning. His body was already sore from the fall. What was a little more? Unfortunately for you, we already are. We? Grian squeaked. Corny wants to see you, Kyle snickered. After your past visit was cut so short. Grian frowned. Kyle groaned. Don't play coy with me, Hermit. You know very well what I'm talking about. Rob and I were tasked to snatch you and anyone else we could nag, but his main target and focus was you. Why me? Grian asked. Conover knows who your friends are. So? Grian spat. That doesn't mean I'll help you find them. Oh, you don't need to, Kyle shrugged. Trust me, this is going to be fun. Fun. Grian snorted. Fun for you, maybe. Kyle clicked his tongue. Conover was gracious to give me another chance. Chance to make things right. Killing us? Grian asked. I'm only following orders. Right. Grian sighed as the duo reached the top of the stairs. They were now on the surface, surrounded by trees. A clearing. A soft whooshing sound swept the air around. Rotors. Conover had a helicopter. Grian started squirming again, this time in desperation. Kyle grunted in frustration, struggling to keep a hold on him. I could use a little help here, Rob shouted as they drew closer to the helicopter. The blades whirled lightning fast, drowning out the night. The forest was dark and gloomy. No torches. The mobs would be here within minutes, he was sure. Maybe he could use that to his advantage. Hand him over, I'll pull him in. A gruff voice replied. Rob turned, allowing Grian to fully see the helicopter. A big, burly man stood in the doorway of the chopper, a hand extended, dread sunk in like a predator sinking his teeth into his prey. There would be no escape if he did do something. Grian! A familiar voice shouted, followed by an explosion as he flared behind him. Kyle screamed in pain, letting go of Grian as the hermit dove out of the way. Grian looked back, seeing Kyle stumbling to his feet. Flames licked his body before dying out. The man was gritting his teeth, looking both furious and in pain. What is with you and your flamethrowers, hermit? Kyle snarled, whirling at the person who'd saved Grian. Grian's eyes widened as he spotted Impulse, Beat-Ups, and Isaac arriving at the top of the stairs. Impulse held a gas blaster in hand, the barrel still emitting smoke. You should know better than to turn your back on your enemy, Impulse said confidently, glancing at Grian. The young hermit didn't need to read his mind to understand what his friend wanted. Grian scrambled to his feet, starting toward his friends before Beat-Ups cried out in alarm. Grian turned in time to see the man in the chopper lunge for him. Grian screamed, trying to dodge, but the man grabbed him by the arm, slamming him to the ground. Thank you, Harry. Kyle nodded, pulling out a sword and shield. He turned his attention back to the others. I should make myself clear. He narrowed his eyes. You will not get in our way this time. He'll be coming with us, and there is nothing you can do about it. Or what? Impulse snapped. Kyle shrugged. You won't see him again. Plain and simple. What does that mean? Beat-Ups asked warily. Grian gasped in pain as the man on top of him held him down by the shoulders in a crushing grip. Was this man trying to crush him to death? At my signal, Harry will make sure there's nothing left of your friend, Kyle said coolly. You wanted alive! Grian coughed as Harry squeezed his shoulders. Pain shot down both arms. He wanted to scream, but the man had one knee on his back, pressing him into the damp earth. He could barely get enough air to breathe. Gerald doesn't always follow the rules. You know that. Kyle smirked, as if pleased with himself. Let him go, Impulse warned. Stand down and let us go, Kyle said smoking. Do you truly want his blood on your hands? Black dots started forming his vision. Grian tried to squirm free, but Harry wouldn't budge. Grian closed his eyes. Why did he feel so exhausted? Was this it? Was this the end? You do realize you brought a sword to a blaster fight, right? Impulse asked calmly. Suddenly, Harry shouted as the weight on Grian lifted. Grian gasped for air, trying to sit up, but falling back down. He opened his eyes just as Isaac came to his side. Harry was groaning as flames coated his uniform. A hint of burned flesh reached the hermit. You okay? Isaac asked gently. Everything hurts. Grian wheezed as Isaac carefully rolled him onto his back. Barely noticed Impulse and Beat-Ups coming to stand beside them as Harry got to his feet and Kyle walked closer to the group. Grian didn't need to look up to see that the man was livid. Oh, what was that? You're going to pay for that, Impulse, Kyle growled. Grian stifled another gasp of pain. Looking up at Isaac, concern filled the boy's eyes as he pulled out his medical box, offering him a healing potion, which Grian took gratefully. Feeling the warm liquid trickle down his throat, behind the boy you could see Kyle and Harry approaching. Beat-Ups and Impulse stood between them. You would need to if you just left us alone, Impulse said defiantly. I'm not afraid of you anymore. I don't care that you're one of Gerald's now. You are not going to hurt my friends, even if it's the last thing I do. Oh, really? A smile appeared on Kyle's face. I guess that makes my job easier. A shadowy figure suddenly shot through the sky, barreling toward them. It took only a second for Grian to realize who it was, just as Impulse was swept off his feet and shot into the air. Impulse! Beat-Up shouted, turning around to look up at the sky. The moment of distraction was all Kyle needed. The man launched for the hermit. No! Grian screamed, horrified as Beat-Ups tumbled to the earth with Kyle on top of him. Isaac sprung to his feet, charging toward his charge, when Harry made his move, shoving the boy across the clearing. Grian heard a thud as Isaac hit a tree and crumpled to the floor. Let's go, before we run into more trouble, Kyle said simply, pulling Beat-Ups to his feet. Beat-Ups squirmed helplessly, eyes wide, as he looked between Harry, Grian, and Isaac. What about the boy? Harry grunted as he trudged toward Grian. Grian forced himself to sit up, trying to scramble away, even as his body screamed for him to stop. Leave him, Kyle shrugged. Carney only wants the hermits. Stopping him from following. Harry frowned, snatching Grian as the young hermit squeaked in fear. How had Rob swooped in so fast to snatch Impulse? Panic struck again. Was Scar okay? Had Rob hurt him? Tears burned in his eyes as he was pulled to his feet, just as more figures appeared. Liam! Grian cried, seeing his protector, along with Jem, Pearl, Joel, Blake, and Julius. Help had finally arrived. You've got to be kidding me, Kyle groaned, attempting to drag Beat-Ups to the helicopter, just as a fireball flew through the air, hitting the craft as it exploded in flames, sending the hermits and their captors forward. Larry! Harry roared, releasing Grian and running to the burning rubble. Grian managed to catch himself, letting himself fall gently to the ground. Footsteps approached as he looked up. Jem knelt beside him. Are you okay? She asked. Grian smiled weakly. I've been better. Here, let me take the headband off you, she said quickly, pulling out a chip from her pocket. A moment, the headband was lying on the floor between them. Better? A little, but I think they were using it more as a way to keep me from calling for help. Jem nodded, getting to her feet. Do you think you can walk? Grian groaned as he took her hand, getting to his feet. His shoulders still felt sore, but thanks to the healing potion Isaac gave him, he was already starting to feel better. He leaned against Jem as he tried to take deep breaths. They took impulse, he whispered, hating how badly his body was shaking. What? Jem gasped, looking at him. Grian nodded. Rob snatched him from the sky. Jem nodded again, before pulling him closer. Get him back. I know, Grian said softly. His eyes were growing heavy. As he yawned, Grian didn't remember much more of that evening. As the group headed home, there was no sign of Kyle or Harry. Wherever they were, Grian was certain that they wouldn't get away with what happened tonight. They would find them. They would find Impulse and put a stop to Carnivor's plan. But he forgot it all as his head hit the soft pillow. He fell into a dreamless slumber. And there, my friends, is the end of that episode. Yep. This chapter, that could be it for this video. If you haven't noticed in this chapter, that was one of Viva Dash's sketches that, was stolen, that Carniver had in his possession. So, yeah, if you don't know which one I'm referring to, that's the 10 years later episode. I did actually have to go back and rewatch it because I wanted to know how Steppy described the incident, because he did get stuck in a minecart. Yeah, it's like there was no visual thing. I just added the visual thing so that you could, like, understand what is going on. But, yeah, probably leave it in the description for you guys if you want to watch it. But you don't have to understand what's going on. But, yeah. I saw an opportunity and I decided to take it. So, that's that. If you noticed, you noticed. If you didn't, don't stress about it. It's not that important. But it does continue the continuity of the story. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one, whenever that might be. Goodbye.